Hello. Welcome to the Cup, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where the tea is always piping hot and we are always ready to spill. I am Lana, your resident diva. You know what it is. I am here to spill the tea. I got my water because we provide the tea, so I need to stay hydrated with my water so we can do what we do. And I am blessed and honored enough to be joined by two of my favorite people to talk about Survivor Australia. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Okay, well, I'll go first. Derrick, I'm so excited to be here. I'm from Australia, so I'm so excited seeing, Americans and internationals enjoying this season of Australian Survivor. I also have water. It is 3 p.m. here, so I'm trying to stay hydrated for the rest of the day.
Period.
Hi, everyone. This is Kisha, and I'm very excited to talk to everyone about Survivor AU. This is my first season of watching a full season of the Australian Survivor. I've seen some clips, but I'm very excited. It's been so much fun, and I've really enjoyed myself. So I'm very excited to talk to everyone about these last few episodes.
Cool. Well, Kisha, you and me are in the same boat because this is also my first season watching Survivor Australia. And so I am very excited and I'm loving it. I am loving it. I'm very much intrigued every week. I am waiting for these new episodes. I wait to both episodes or 3 before, but now 2 episodes to drop so I can watch them all at the same time because I am too impatient to wait an extra day or whatever. So I'm excited to talk about this week. We're talking about week 6, episode 15. And this week was kind of interesting. A lot happened.
Yeah.
A lot happened. It was some drama. It was some foolishness. It was just a lot. But let's jump in. So we start the episode off with Michelle trying to figure out if what Mel said at Tribal was gaining any ground with anybody. If people would think about it and about Josh being the big threat in the game. She was trying to fill out people and seeing if they're because she knew Michelle was right. I mean, Mel was right. Everybody knew that Mel was right in her exit saying, look, Josh is a threat and he's the strategic mastermind and he's making this thing up. Now, okay, I'm going to say, do I think Josh is a strategic mastermind? Not really. Is he strategic? Sure. Mastermind, though, I'm not.
Giving stretch.
It's a bit of a stretch to me.
Yeah.
But, y'all thoughts, is he a mastermind or just strategic?
Yeah, I don't think he's a mastermind. I definitely think he's just strategic more so than anything. I don't know that he's really able to pull it all together. He needs the help of everybody else.
And I would also say Mark has kind of positioned himself in the best. I would say Mark is the mastermind in this situation in the sense that he controls most of the things that are happening, including the perception that Josh has been getting. And when you even look back to people trying to throw both Mel and Michelle under the bus, saying that they're sneaky and they're so strategic, and everyone was kind of turning, everyone was just focusing on the both of them. But when it's happened to Josh, the energy is not it's different energy.
It's definitely a different energy. And you're right, because Mark not only has his position with the boys and with the guys, they're good, but the outsiders, the quote unquote outsiders, they turn to Mark and they listen to what Mark is saying and trust what Mark is saying. But none of them put the two. Nobody says Mark is the mastermind because Mark lays low when he needs to. Mark shifts the narrative to make it look like, yes, Josh is the mastermind. Yes, everybody's narrative that they got is because Mark pushes it that way. To me, Josh is the mastermind. Jordy is the Joker guy. It's just he just shifts it off of him and lays low. But I think that's just the vet in Mark.
Mhm.
He's been there before. He's
And
seen.
Mark doesn't just like say this is what we have to do, except for to his wife.
Mhm.
He asks them questions and lets them come to the conclusion that he wants,
Yep.
but makes them think it's their idea, so they don't feel like they're just being told what to do, like a dictatorship, which some of the others haven't figured out. So it comes across as if the others are just telling them what to do.
Exactly.
Mark includes them in the plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He definitely makes them feel like they're a part of this plan. We're making it together. He makes the committee look like a committee.
Yeah.
Josh, on the other hand, makes the committee look like it's Josh's committee and he's going to tell you what to do. Jordy as well, to me, is more like, this is the plan. This is what we're doing. And he makes it look like he's in charge of the committee. But the Josh and Jordy of it all is going to come into fruition in this episode. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. But then we go into Josh was talking about like how he was out at tribal council, and he's this big threat and strategic mastermind. So now he's trying to downplay his threat. He didn't want to be seen that way. So he's turning his sights on Jordy because he feels like he can't be trusted. He said Jordy has loose lips. Jordy talks too much, which is true. Yeah. Jordy talks much too much. Yeah. But Jordy is also playing the game. So Jordy is trying to set himself up for future moves. Like he's playing chess right now. He's setting it up for future moves. So telling people, hey, Mark has an idol. Sure, it didn't work out how he thought it was going to work out. But he was trying to play chess with the moves. Like, if I tell people before Mark does, they won't trust Mark. They'll trust me. But Mark has positioned himself so well that people trust Mark even regardless.
And it backfired.
Big time. Big time.
And I appreciate Josh for that, because Josh was like, Jordy, people shouldn't be telling when they have idols, but you got a big mouth. Why you running around telling it about our own alliance? I think if had it been about somebody outside the alliance, it would have been different. But he's like, why are you trying to set up somebody in our alliance so early and trying to like not just tell me that he has it, but tell me that he has it and want to vote him out? Like, it was the combination of the two that I think caught Jordy up.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you.
You've known this for all this time and didn't tell me, so it's not like you coming to me in confidence.
Right.
You me now because it suits your needs. I appreciate that Josh pegged that real quick.
Yeah.
And also, like, they have majority of the numbers at this point, so why? But the thing is, there's a risk if anyone tries to like diverge from this plan. You're all of a sudden in the minorities, especially if someone loses their partner in that they could move to the opposite side. So Josh kind of wanting to, and I get being untrustworthy of Jesse and Jordy as a result of this, but I feel like you still have to work with them because now you have information that you can now use against Jordy and Jesse with Mark and Sam, which, you know, we kind of know what happens down the line. But if the six of them stick together, I feel like Jordy and Jesse would be at the bottom of the totem pole. So just maintaining that and kind of using that information at the right time could be, you know.
Yeah, timing is everything in these games. You have to know when to say something and when not to say anything. And I think when you have an alliance that is so strong like those boys have, and that's a strong alliance, you can't jump on trying to break it up so early. Like, I really feel like they should have stuck together for at least 2 more votes. At least 2 more votes. And then that way, when you do decide to turn on each other, you can, whichever one gets the leverage, they go skate all the way to the end of the game with that. Like, you can skate, but I don't know, people just jumping the gun too early for me.
And I feel like that was Jordy's fault because Jordy pushed it, and then it was like, oh, once you push, we coming for you. That's how it is.
Exactly.
You come for me, let me get you while I can. Forget the wait.
Exactly. Because once you hear your name, it's like if you said my name before, you'll say it again. So no, you gotta go.
Get me on the sneak tip. So let me get you before you get me.
Exactly.
Oh, yes. So Josh tells Mark that Jordy told him that he has an idol in a group with Chrissy, Dave, and Sam. So he lets them all know that Josh was like, oh, no, I'm letting you know that this man is over here saying some stuff that he don't need to be saying right now.
But
So
also being messy.
yeah, Josh was very much like, no, what we're not gonna do is this. So it was interesting, but doing that, he got trust with Mark. He got trust with Dave. He got trust with Chrissy. So now they all are like, yeah, Jordy is somebody who we know we can't trust in the future, which is fine, which is great. So they're like, we're gonna go for Jordy. That's the plan as of right now. Before anything happened, before any challenge, Jordy was the name. Sam does not care for that plan. Sam doesn't like that plan because Sam was like, look, if we go for Jordy, that means I'm blindsiding my closest ally besides Mark, which is Jesse. And she's not feeling like she should be blindsiding Jesse at this point in time. So she's like, no, I don't want to go for Jordy right now. I'd rather go for Josh. I don't trust Josh. I don't really know Josh. I hadn't worked with Josh for that long. But Mark, on the other hand, is like, no, because Mark is like, let's just hold on. We'll wait. We'll wait and see what happens, and then we'll discuss it later. Because right now we don't even know what's going to happen. Idol can be played. Challenges might be. We don't know. So this is the options, but we'll see where we'll go later. Now, I don't know about y'all, but Sam, I like Sam. I really want to like Sam. That's the thing. I want to like Sam, but Sam always gives me reason for hesitation and pause with her because, like, she's like, I feel like I'm being told what to do. I feel like these boys are just coming to me, telling me what I'm doing, and I'm supposed to just jump and do it. And I don't like it. And so then she makes me believe that this is the moment Sam is going to get a backbone and Sam is going to be strong and Sam is going to do what Sam wants to do. But every episode, Sam has done that and has let me down. And I'm like, I don't know what to believe anymore with you, Sam. I don't know. So right now I'm very hesitant of Sam and her, I'm a strong woman, independent attitude right now. I'm not buying it because she has not proven that she will do anything other than that to me.
Agreed. It's just been a whole lot of talking and not enough showing. And even the thing is, if Sam decided, with the last episode when we lost, obviously, Mel, even if she decided to flip on Mark, there's no way Mark is going to let his whole alliance go after her before they go for everyone else. So she was in the position where she could have made a move and stuck to her word. Everything that she's trying to say, she could have actually brought that into existence and made a move. And it just seems like she's put herself where Mark keeps on, because even when Mark says, let's just hold on, let's see what happens, let's wait and hold until my plan happens, it doesn't seem like she's ever going to get that opportunity to do what she wants. And she's lost Khan, and now she's about to, lose Jordy, who is so close to Jesse. Like, there's just so many different things that she's risking for the sake of appeasing to this huge alliance of all these men who are going to cut her at 6. Like, it just does not make sense.
Right. And she could just easily say, okay, we know we're not coming for each other, but let's work the two sides. You make sure they don't come for me. I work with my people. I make sure they don't come for you. We don't have to vote the same.
It just blows my mind that they haven't discussed that or even thought about that. Like you said, she could have flipped and saved Khan, or at least told Khan, gave him a heads up, like, use your idol. I'm voting for you, but I'm telling you, use your idol. And you can we'll put this other plan in action, and they would have got rid of whoever they wanted to last week. I forgot who they wrote. Oh, Shay. It was Shay who they wrote down. They wanted to get rid of Shay. No, it wasn't Shay, because Shay was.
It was Michelle. Michelle ended up getting.
Michelle. So it would have been Michelle instead of, but. Like, even then, you could have told Khan to use your idol, and y'all could have voted for whoever you wanted to. Like, get Mel and Michelle on board to vote out.
They could have gone for one of the guys in that instance.
Yes.
Not Mark, but one of the other guys. Just the Lord of numbers, but like
Exactly.
Because it was Josh. It could have been Josh. It could have been Josh.
Let's go for Josh. Let's go for someone. Like they could have easily gone for somebody.
You could have did Mel. You could have did save Mel. You could have saved Khan. But you chose not to do that. But you want to keep saying, I feel like I'm being pushed around. You're letting them push you around and you're not doing anything about it. Like, okay, you lost Khan and you felt pushed and pressured. So why do that again this next week? Why do that again for Michelle when you could do something about it? And you just chose not to. You don't have to vote. And see, this is the thing. With her and Mark, they're married. They don't have to vote together, but this game is not going to break up their marriage. This is why you could have voted differently and then y'all could have smoothed it over like any couple would have done. You could have said, look, babe, I get it. You didn't like the move I made. This is the move I made. You have to play your game. I'm playing my game. This is da. But we together. You take those risks. You break those promises, and then y'all fix it and mend it because that's the kind of relationship you have. You married this man for a reason. Y'all have a trust level that some people won't have in this game. Like, so if you have that trust level, use that. Vote against him. Get who you want out or stay, and then you talk it over. Put your feminine, babe, boo, love. It's okay. I love you. We'll work through this, and you move on about your business. This is a game. It's not real life. It's not gonna take your marriage. Do what you gotta do in this game, but I don't know.
Absolutely.
But Sam decides that she needs to go talk to Jesse because Jesse is her closest ally next to Mark. And she needs to talk to Jesse to figure out a plan. And Jesse, of course, is pushing for Josh to go. And Sam is like, I get it. I understand that plan. But she's going back and forth. Like, what do I do? Do I stick with Jesse? Or do I go with Mark, who wants Josh to stay? What do I do?
Because even at this point, if Sam was willing at 12 to stick with this huge alliance of 6, then now at 11, if you potentially get rid of someone that's in a duo, let's say get rid of either Jesse or we get rid of Josh, you are giving that person the ability to join with the other 6 that are now singles, and then they have majority. So, like, what are you doing? Like, you have to really think through these plans because you'd want to get rid of someone that's in the minority. And at that point, it's harder for them to obviously link up unless you and Mark decide to join with them. Then they have the numbers and you can work between the two. But it's just like, let's pick our own. And then next week, we'll try and think about this plan where we want to get rid of someone that I want to leave. But if Mark doesn't want that, we'll go back to your plan. And it's just been that back and forth.
It's very interesting to me. Sam is just right now she's an enigma to me. I don't really understand her. I'm trying to process her. I'm trying to figure her out. But baby, I'm so confused by her sometimes. I don't get it. But we move on. We move. The reward challenge is here. And so I like this challenge, actually. I've, haven't seen this kind of challenge on this scale before, but everyone is tethered together and they have to run and grab 2 puzzle pieces out of this rope obstacle thingy, and they have to pull it out and then run it down and put it on this wobbly table and make sure you can stack all your pieces together without it falling over. So these are the duos. It was Chrissy and Jordy, Mark and Michelle, Sam and KJ, Shay and Jordan, and Jesse and Josh. Now, Dave had to sit out because the uneven number, of course. So Dave sat out, but he got to bet on who he thought would win the challenge. And if they won the challenge, he gets to join in on the reward, which is a feast from KFC. Now, obviously, KFC is huge in Australia.
Oh yes, I used to work at KFC. I worked at KFC for 5 years, and when I tell you like, oh, the chicken, the chips portion, the salt that they have, there's just so many different aspects to it. So I can just imagine being away for almost 29 days now, probably even more than that, and just the idea of having chicken, like, yeah, this was a reward you wanted to win. Except the one from last week that Khan won.
Yeah,
this is
that's
the
the
one
one.
that I
Yeah.
wanted.
Yeah, Khan's reward was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, I like KFC like the next person. I don't know if the chicken is different
It's
in
not the same,
Australia than it is here,
Yeah.
or if the fries or chips, as you say, is different from here. I don't know.
It's
But
different.
all I know,
Very.
it just seems like, because look, those chips look way different from the potato wedges that we get here. Because like the
Yeah.
potato wedges, I'm like, they don't look like that.
Yeah.
Our potato wedges don't look like that. But okay, those.
No,
look
I'm glad you said that. I remember when I went to the States, I was like, let me go to KFC, because I always thought whenever I travel, I want to go and try the different KFCs, because I was working there for so long. And when I was in the States, I walked into one of the KFCs and I looked at everything on the menu and I could not. I had to walk out because I saw wedges, I saw mashed potato. There was just
Y'all don't have mashed potatoes?
we have potato and gravy, but it just seemed like it was just mashed potato, and I was like, there is no way I can.
Oh no, it's mashed potatoes and gravy. Oh my god, it's the best. KFC has the best mashed potatoes and gravy. Yeah, like yeah, that was the best. Go ahead.
Okay. No. I thought that I was looking at something completely different, and I didn't want to ruin my love for KFC, so I didn't get anything. Let it be.
I understand. I get it, because like I said, the potato wedges and those chips did not look like the same. Y'all, that looked like a really good fry to me, like so good. But yeah, and then wait, did she say something about a bread roll?
Yeah, gosh, my life. So we have these. Oh my gosh,
They're not biscuits.
You know what? I think they're a lot like biscuits, but we don't really. The biscuits for us here are like, I think what y'all call cookies, right? So the bread roll is just like a bun, essentially, super soft, very sweet. And normally, what I do is I obviously open it up. I put a bit of chips, or you can have that with potato and gravy, or coleslaw, or something. But it is one of the best parts of the meal. That's probably my second favorite thing in the KFC menu.
See, we have biscuits, and it's definitely not always soft. Sometimes it's like a flaky, crunchier biscuit. So okay.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I'm like, KFC in Australia must be different from KFC here.
Mm-hmm.
But if I was on the island for 29 days or whatever, if they offered me KFC, I would be very happy. I would be very, very happy, and I would be wanting it and eating it. But yeah, they got a feast from KFC if they win the reward. So Dave ended up picking Josh and Jesse as his pick for who he think is going to win this reward, and he is wrong. Dead wrong. Dead
Come on, men to the front. He said the one group with two men, that's the one.
Right. That's who he's going to go for.
Right. I'm betting on the men.
Right. He's like, and you're wrong. Betting on the men is crazy because, first of all, women do have organizational skills. So we like to organize things. So that's something you might want to think about when you're thinking about putting puzzle pieces on the table that won't fall over. You have to think about the proper placement. And everybody was doing pretty well. Like, nobody was having huge issues. I mean, Shay and Jordan was up and close at one point, and then theirs fell over. I blame Jordan. Absolutely blame Jordan for that.
I mean, I hate thinking that way, but I have to blame him as well.
Yeah, I blame Jordan. Sam and KJ were doing really well. I mean, as they should, because they're women and they do that. They were doing really well, but they were just slow with theirs. They really were just slow with theirs. Mark and Michelle was actually doing pretty well, but they had some issues too, and I blame Mark. So the winner of this challenge was Chrissy and Jordy.
Yeah.
Congratulations to them. And I was like, I'm not surprised because Chrissy is a mom and Chrissy has to juggle a lot of things at one time in her life. So I'm sure she know how to place things and put stuff. So
that was incredible. Even when you watch the last 10 or 15 seconds of that challenge, Chrissy couldn't believe it. She was just standing back. She's like, oh my gosh, it's gonna happen. And when they just fall over and they're just hugging, you really knew how much that meant to them.
Yeah.
That excitement got me so excited. Like, I was excited for them because I was just like, you know what? You get so drained out there and tired, and to win a reward after working so hard to just build a daggone tower, like, woo, child, I was excited for them.
I was excited for it too. I was like, this is great. And I was excited. I love Chrissy's reaction. I love how excited Jordy was about it. It was just a good moment, and I enjoyed watching that. So they won, and they were able to pick 2 people to join them on the feast. So of course, there was no surprise that Jordy was going to pick Jesse to go on the feast. But then Chrissy picked Mark. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I get it. She trusts Mark. She likes Mark. Okay. And so then Jonathan tells them that they could pick one more person. Now, I don't know about y'all. I thought for sure they would go pick Sam.
Oh, no. I never thought they was going to pick Sam.
Well, I thought for the fact of Jesse being there and Mark being there, and then Chrissy wanting to, buddy up with I don't know. I thought they were going to pick Sam. I thought Sam was maybe. But they picked Josh. And so, yeah.
But the thing is, let's look at it this way. I get obviously not picking Sam because you want to make sure whoever stays back is very loyal and they can find out if anything tries to be, thought about. But feeding Josh, the person that you want out, makes no sense because if he wins that challenge because you fed him, who's to blame?
Yeah, he got all his energy now.
So that's why I was sad Shay didn't get the opportunity to eat because I was obviously worried for my gal, and I thought that but I also think what this showed us is Chrissy's very close to Mark, and I think that kind of starts to put a whole lot of sense in regards to the last vote, and obviously Chrissy being very hesitant to vote with them against that huge 6. And I guess that's just a testament to both Sam and Mark's game and their relationships individually. And I think we've said this obviously a few times, but people just want to keep working with them. They're like the 2 people that haven't received a vote yet.
Nope.
The 2 people that have played previously
and have not received votes.
Not one person has said, I want to see Mark or Sam leave. Not one.
The only time Sam's name was ever brought up was all the way back in the first week with Dave. Yeah. And that was it. Like, literally, that was the only moment Sam had her name even brought up. And since then, never again.
And Jordy did bring it up. I mean, that's what caused all this stuff to start with, was Jordy bringing up Mark's name.
Yep.
But it was to get rid of the idol.
Idol, not Mark.
Knock him out.
Yeah. So even with that, they were just trying to get Flush and Idol. They weren't even trying to get rid of Mark at the time. They still want to work with Mark. So that's just a testament to how well that they both are playing this game, and the connections that they made with people are strong, really strong. It was crazy. So they go to this feast. The food looks delicious, by the way. I was very much like, oof.
Yeah.
I was watching it this morning and I hadn't eaten breakfast yet. I'm like, I'm hungry. It literally made me hungry this morning. It looked good. But they're eating, and it's a plethora of food. So much. Those chicken bites look amazing. Like,
now
that's one thing they don't have here is those chicken bites.
It's so... they're so good. So like I cannot even begin to explain how incredible just everything on the menu is at KFC. I know that this is not a promotion for KFC.
I mean, but at KFC, if you want to have us, you want to sponsor us, we will take that. We will love that. But
one day y'all are gonna taste Australian KFC.
I will come to Australia. You're making me want to book a flight. I want to come to Australia and try KFC. Like, who would think? Who would think I want to get on a plane all the way to Australia just so I can try some KFC?
Right.
But I'm actually wanting to do that. Who wants? Okay, but they're eating their food. It's amazing. They have this nice little setup, a bar and all kind of stuff, loungers and chairs. They can relax by the water. It's a nice place. It's a nice little setup they got going on. So, of course, everybody is looking for an advantage because everybody knows there's an advantage at these rewards. You just have to find them. And with Khan leaving the game with an idol, everybody is sure it's another idol coming back out. So they are looking. Chrissy's looking like 100%, just like, look. Not caring. Not subtle. And so everybody's like, should we all look? And everybody's like, Jordy's like, yeah, you all should look. But Jordy has already found the advantage. It was wrapped up in these towels that was sitting on the lounger. And he what'd you say, Kisha?
It's so crazy to me that that's gonna be luck who unfolds the towel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a towel. Like, you just have to pick the right lounger to sit in and unwrap that towel. And there it is.
I'll go try each one of them.
Right. Like, I would have went and be like, let me just set it up for everybody. I'm going to set up each lounger for everybody. Like,
yeah.
He just unravels the towel and there it is. It falls out. So he's like, oh, he quickly puts the towel over it and sits down. And so he's trying to be slick. He calls Jesse to come over and have a seat. Like talking, like we're gonna relax, while he's trying to stuff this idol in this man's shorts down his butt, like literally stuffing.
And the way Jesse didn't move. And the thing is, this was the beginning of Jesse's short storyline this episode. Because I don't know how he did not move once, and the way that he just like. It's a huge clue.
It was huge.
I don't know how he sat there and was not worried that it was a snake or something, especially in the outback. Like, you don't know what's roaming there. So I think he was trying to be like very, very subtle. But at the same time, I just kept on remembering how Mark did the exact same thing a few episodes before. Mm-hmm. And Jordy saw the whole thing. So I was like, is someone else kind of watching in the back? I thought maybe there was an editing thing and someone has been looking. Chrissy was looking because she was all the way behind them.
Yeah, it was crazy when he stuffed it in his back. Like, I get he probably knew it was, he could feel like that's paper and that's probably Jordy stuffing whatever. So he didn't move. But then when he got up and walked over to try to shift it and get it, that I thought Chrissy saw him sticking it in the front of his pants. This is where, okay, these Speedos that they love to wear and these little short shorts and tight shorts get you caught up. You need some baggy pants or baggy shorts with some pockets so you can stick an idol or a clue in there. I would have had some cargo shorts on or something, because with a lot of little hidden compartments, because you could clearly see the indenture of the paper in his shorts because they're so tight.
The choices that were made with, even when you think to the first day, Jordy's outfit, like I think a lot of people were not prepared.
Right, jeans, overalls, and you get in water and outback. I don't know.
There was a lot of chafing. If you looked at all the, I guess, behind the scenes and not shown on TV. Videos very, very early on. If y'all remember Jay, he was there.
Back in the day.
Back in the day, he talked about chafing for majority of his time on the island. And I was like, well,
shouldn't wear those tight shorts. Yeah. You got to have some. As my mama used to say, you got to let it breathe, baby. You got to let the skin breathe, and so tightness is not always the way. It's cute. It show off your figure, but you gotta let it breathe.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they find the advantage. He stick it back. They get back to camp. Mark and Jordy and Sam are talking about going after Josh. And Mark is like, the only way this plan can get messed up is if Josh has an idol or found an advantage of some sort. And Sam's like, well, y'all just came back. Was it something there? And Mark was like, I didn't see anything. And Jordy was like, I didn't see anything either. I saw nothing. I'm just like,
that was so good.
just like, okay.
That was so bad.
It was so bad. Like, if he just wanted, he couldn't have said he was lying any better than a red neon sign pointing down saying, I'm lying. Like, it was so obvious that this man was lying. And Mark was just like,
you ain't slick.
Right.
Mark, like, I'm peeping your game right now. I see, like, all, like, he chewing on that stick like it's the last. It's oh my god, it's a piece of steak. He's just like, I didn't see nothing. I was like, oh god, so obvious.
It's so funny how they always bring Mark's career into it, or I was an ex, I say, and I'm like, okay, so something's about to happen, and Mark has seen it. It's sensing it.
Mark is like, I have to learn people's body language because it kept me alive. So I knew this man was lying. I was like, so Mark at that point is 100% going after Jordy. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it in Mark's mind. He's like, not only did this man tell people about my idol, which I told him in confidence, now he's lying about having an idol of his own, or at least an advantage or a clue of his own. Just no. So he's 100% going after that, after Jordy. Don't care. So we switch on over to the immunity challenge. And the immunity challenge is everybody had to stand on a small platform and they had to hold a rope attached to this box with a weight on it. And they had to balance a ball on a wooden plank of some sort and make sure the ball, and apparently the ball is weighted as well because it can just roll and it has momentum, you know. So they had to stand on these wooden planks. And after 10 minutes increments, they would move to a smaller plank, and then a smaller plank, and then a smaller plank. So they had to do that at least 4 times until the last person was standing. So, question to my panel, how would you do? What's your balance like? What's your, stamina like standing on a small platform trying to balance a ball?
I think I have decent balance, but my problem is I have weak arms and weak shoulder strength. Although I'm doing physical therapy right now, so my shoulder strength is probably a lot stronger than it used to be. Because we've been working on it. But at the end of the day, I still think I cannot go against Shay. So I would be down for the count. I will not be first out though. I think I can last a little longer than that because I've been working on my arm, my shoulder strength, and all that stuff in physical therapy. But a girl would not last as long as them. Cody and Shay, please, they would take me out.
But the thing is, even when you think about how it pans out in terms of who left super early, I feel like I would not do well either. I have really good balancing, but same thing, upper body strength is not my ministry, unfortunately. I'd be standing there maybe 15 minutes, and I would try to get through it, but I just don't know how that would go.
You are so good, because a girl like myself, I know my weaknesses and I know my strengths. And this, ma'am, sir, is not it. So I would have picked that thing up and he said, and the challenge is on, and I would have let that go. I'm like, I'm working smarter, not harder. I'm not going to exude energy that I don't already have being out here for 29 days with very little food. I don't even have that much energy. So I am not going to expend the little energy that I have, knowing I am not winning. Now, if I thought I could win, then I'll hang on in there. But if I know for sure, I know for a fact, I'll be like, and the challenge is on. All right, thanks, guys. I'm sitting. They be like, wow, you just gave up. I sure did. I'm smart. I'm not winning this challenge. I'm not going to hold on for no 2 hours for what? For why? And no, that's crazy. But
I like that.
Yeah, but some people, they did hold. I will try to hold on for at least 5 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm not gonna hold on for like the whole thing now.
Wow.
But the first out was Michelle. She went before 10 minutes. Yeah, she went before the 10-minute mark. So she went out. The ball just rolled away. And then the second out was Sam. I also think she went out before the 10 minutes. Oh no, did she make the transfer? She might have made the transfer. No, she didn't.
No,
Sam didn't
make the transfer and then drop, right? Or she
Because
dropped.
Shay was the one that dropped during the transfer.
No, so yeah, Sam did not make the transfer. Okay. Sam did not. So she went out before the 10-minute mark too. So yes, Shay was the one who went out during the transfer. Oh, Shay.
Should have been a bit slow. I think she was rushing to, prepare for it.
Mm-hmm. Look, Shay can do no wrong. What the wind blew. Shay didn't do it. The wind blew it off. It wasn't Shay's fault.
If she had some KFC, it would have been a bit different.
Yeah, right. If it was an overcast and the wind wasn't blowing, and a mosquito landed on her nose, it was a lot of elements that going against Shay. So it wasn't Shay's fault. Then KJ fell soon after, the fourth person out, and then Dave fell out during the next transfer. He couldn't transfer over. KJ also was in the transfer. She couldn't make the transfer, and Dave couldn't make the transfer. And then sixth out was Chrissy. Chrissy had on longer than I thought. Everybody was like, all right, Chrissy, do your thing. But Chrissy was like, can't. After a while, it was just too much. And then it was Jesse. And then it was Jordan. Mm-hmm. And so it came. And then it was Mark. Then it was Josh. So it came down to Mark and Jordy. They made it all the way to the third peg. They made it all the way to the third peg. But in the end, the immunity winner was Jordy. Jordy won the immunity, and that's what it was.
And the thing is, if you look at the first 4 or 5 people that have been eliminated, I'd have sat there and look who is still left, and it's everyone from that huge alliance. This would have been the time to be like, you know what, we gotta go.
We gotta break some of them up.
Yeah.
But and Jordy was very confident in his plan. He was very confident leaving the immunity challenge. He was on a high. He won. And he was like, my plan is going to happen and Josh is going to go home. That's what's going to happen. That's what we know. And he was confident in that he had the pull to make that happen. So he pitched to Shay. He was pitching to Shay he pitched Shay to Jordan and Josh to make them feel comfortable. He was like, Shay's the plan. We'll get her out of here. That's it. It's Shay and KJ. We'll split it up. We'll put the boys will vote for Shay, the girls will vote for KJ. That's it. So he was telling that to Josh and Jordan, and Mark was there, and they were like, yep, this is the plan. Just like, yeah, this is the plan. All that to make Josh and Jordan feel comfortable. But after he told them that, he went and flipped and told Sam that the plan is to get rid of Josh. That's the plan. Sam was like, okay, I'm cool with that. She's a little nervous because it's so early to flip on the alliance. It's just the right move. But, is this going to be? And Jesse's like, it's fine. Once they're split up, the 4 of us can dominate. We'll work together. We'll have each other's back. That's the plan. She's like, okay. That's the plan. Jordy goes to Michelle, tells Michelle that Josh is the best move. Michelle agrees, of course, because Michelle is like, I want to do this for Mel. Let's get out Josh. He's the biggest threat. Let's do this. And Jordy's like, fine. So we got Jordy, Jesse, Michelle, Shay. Well, no, at this point, it was just Jordy, Jesse, Michelle, and then Mark and Sam, of course, were in. That was going to be the mix. Then Mark on the other hand, is working to flip the vote on to Jesse because he's like, look, Jordy got immunity, so we can't vote for him. The next best thing would be Jesse because Jesse needs to pay the price for his brother's sins.
Yeah.
So
that was so bogus. But I mean, I was standing behind it. I was standing with it. But I was like, dang, Jesse.
like, dang, man, you gotta pay it.
Yeah, like it just seems. Honestly, I just don't know why he would say this so openly in front of Sam. Like, of course they're married. I get that, but like, that's her closest ally. You've done it once. You're gonna do it again.
Yeah,
like,
but
he just completely ruined her game.
I mean, but when you don't have a backbone and you don't say anything about what you want to do and you don't make moves, then you're giving them permission to run all over your game and do what they doing. If you really had a problem with getting rid of your allies, then you would have fought against it and not got rid of your allies. But you didn't. So that left Mark, that gave him permission to say, this is the move. You'll follow what I say. Get in line or get left behind. And she's like, okay. All right. I'm being a good, dutiful wife and do what my man tells me to do. But in the process, you're ruining your entire game for why? Two people who trusted you completely. Yep. You sent one home, and now he's coming to you saying, do it again. do it again.
Do it again. Yeah.
Do it again. So it's just weird to me. But he doesn't trust Jordy. He said he talks too much, and he trusts Josh, and he trusts Jordan so much more, and he wants to work with them. And Josh wants to pull in Christy and Shay to now vote for Jesse and let them know that Mark and Sam are on board. So Josh is telling them Mark and Sam is on board. Jordy is telling everybody else that Mark and Sam are on board with their plans. So in the middle, they sitting pretty, just deciding which way they want to go. So Mark tells Sam that it's going to be Jesse and says the easy vote is Jesse. And she's like, but another one of my allies? What? I feel comfortable with Jesse, but Mark doesn't feel that comfortable. And so I put in the notes, I was like, this dynamic with them, it can't be me. Like, it can't be me. Like, I will not let my husband love you. I married you because I loved you, but I will not let you just tell me what to do, and I have no say so in any matter at all, none whatsoever. There's no compromise with them. Like Mark says, this is what it is, and that's what it is. And even when she's like, but I don't like, it's the move, and that's what we're gonna do. And then he walks away, and it's like,
that's the crazy part. He's like, I know what's best. Bye, and walks away.
Like, baby, it cannot be me. Like, I don't operate the same way. And like I said last time, Derrick, and I'll say it again, Kisha, you can tell me if you agree with me or not, but I honestly think this is some cultural based things because, baby, it cannot be me. I've never seen in my house where the woman is like, oh, okay. Like it not in my house. My mother would never. My mother could never. My grandmother would never. And my grandfather was hard. He was a hard man, but it wasn't like this is what it is. And you like, maybe to us, like when he say do something, we do it and we jump because he said so, but he was our grandfather. But to her, he was like, she could talk to him and get the compromise. There is no budge in Mark. Mark is like, this is the plan. This is what we're doing. And that's it. Bye.
And you also not going to do that to me on national television.
On TV?
On international television. How about that? So no.
And I think
this is where we can have a plan to vote differently. We can agree to do that. Like, that can be a strategy for us. Like, we are aligned differently, so we can plan to work differently together. Like, why can't they see that? Like, that is what is gonna kill them in this game. Because then they would keep going on for both sides and work that completely. Like, that is what these duos are like. Let's all huddle together as duos. But no, how about split up and work both sides? Like, duh.
Exactly. I completely agree. And I think that's why this is kind of setting up Sam's fall. And I think she killed pre-merge. She was on fire. Everyone was working with her. Even Sandra was so good with her. And the day that she got called out by Dave, she still ended up walking out as being the winner, despite saying, I try to keep you, Dave, over everybody else. But no one ever turned to her. So I think this is just the beginning of the end for Sam. And I know I said this during obviously the last episodes. And her ability, and I get that Sam, I mean, Mark has obviously worked in the military, his whole life. And maybe that's just the way that he functions. And I think Sam knows that. But at the same time, she needs to understand this is a game. You need to fight for your decisions, especially if you're coming in as a duo. If you're not going to break apart, why are you going to stick together and be at the bottom of this huge alliance with 5 huge boys? There's no way that they're going to keep you when it gets to that.
Can't be me. Wouldn't be me. Don't know. Nope. So, okay, that whole part. We move. Jesse is nervous. He's nervous around camp. He's like, things are way too calm. Everybody's way too happy. And so I'm getting nervous. And I understand that because I'm like, this is tribal day. Why is it so quiet? Why is everybody just chumming it up and nobody's like, okay, whatever. So he's like, I got to find this idol. I got to find the idol. I got this clue. I need to go find the idol. So he goes off to search for the idol. He's gone. He's looking everywhere the clue told him to look. Finally, he finds the idol in this bush or whatever, and he pulls it out, unties the idol. After celebrating, like, yes, finds it, crouches down, unties it, starts reading the clue, and then all of a sudden, boo! Sam pops in while he's
reading the best. Mama, you don't sound to get my nerves, but I loved her appearance at that moment. I screamed. Literally,
I did too. I did too. I was like, did you just pop in on this man reading an idol that he trying to keep a secret?
He wasn't subtle. He just was not subtle with it anyway. Like, didn't he look at his surroundings? I just don't understand how he just found the idol, said, let me just look here. Let me sit here.
Right.
There's no hiding.
Don't you usually find an idol and then run around somewhere else before you look and open it? I would have grabbed it, put it in my shirt, and just darted off to the back of the forest or wherever we are, of the outback, and I would have found a spot that I could crouch down where nobody is. Like, it didn't look like it was that far away from camp.
Right? Don't they sometimes wait until they're in their confessional where nobody is near them to read it? Like, oh my god.
It couldn't wait. And I think that's part of
rookie.
Just the rookie mistakes that we saw, happening that episode.
Yeah. So now Jesse is stunned that Sam is there. Look at his face. And Sam was like, oh my God, I'm so happy for you. I'm so excited for you. Oh my God. And he's trying to play it off like but then he's like, if anybody found me, I'm glad it's Sam because I trust Sam. Me and Sam have been working together since day 2. We're good. And so now he's trying to hide it. Sam was like, we need to go back to camp. Everybody's looking for you. You don't want people to start thinking stuff. So we need to hide it. So Jesse's like, I'll put it in my shorts. Here's where the shorts come back into play again, ladies and gentlemen.
Come on, storyline. Yeah.
These shorts. these tiny, tight shorts of Jesse. He tries to stick the idol in his shorts, but you can see the whole indenture of the idol. It looks suspicious. But did it look suspicious?
No.
Or did Sam
Sam to the rescue.
Sam, Sam big brained this whole situation. She big brained this. She's like, oh no, you can't go back to camp with that sticking out like that. Like it was protruding from his waistline with a big sign that said idol here. Like she made it look feel like this idol was just sticking out like and it really wasn't. And she's like, oh no, you can't go back like that.
She maneuvered that so well.
She maneuvered it like a pro and said, let me hold it into my sarong because they're not even looking for me to find anything. They're looking at you. So if they're looking at you and they don't see anything, they won't even step me. So she takes it and puts it in her sarong. And he's like, when you get back to camp, just put it in your bag. I'm like, just put it in your bag. Why didn't she say when you get back to camp, put it in my bag? Or, meet me, I'll get my bag and act like I'm going to do something. We'll exchange it or something. No, he said, put it in your bag. Sam has successfully, in this moment, stolen this man's idol. And he doesn't even realize he stole it.
Because just watching that specific scene with the idol and these pants, I'm looking and I'm listening to Sam and I'm like, does Sam have like an eye issue or something? Because I generally was so confused. I was like, how is she telling him you can see this? Especially with his shirt.
His shirt down.
I was like, there's no way that you can see this. But I just let it be. I was like, okay, all right. I guess she's just being very cautious just in case anyone sees it. But then I was like, what's the difference between her? There was just a lot of things dynamics that were not adding up.
The math was not mathing for me.
Yeah.
And so
with a straight face the whole time.
With a straight face. So when she did it, I was like, why? But then, because I had to go back and watch it again so I can make sure I had all the information correct for this podcast, because we do what we have to do for this podcast to make it work. Thank you. So I went back and watched it again. Then that's when I realized in that moment when Jesse said, put it in your bag. The first time I watched it, I didn't hear him say that because I was too busy cackling over the fact that Sam had just took this man's idol. So I missed it. But this time he was like, put it in your bag. And I was like, in that moment, I was like, Sam has officially stolen his idol in that moment. Because why would you tell him to put it in your bag? I would have said, put it in your bag and then I'll come claim it before we go to tribal. Like, I would have found a way to have my bag next to her bag so I could do a quick transfer of idols from her bag to my bag. But
and you can tell that Jesse had not watched Micronesia. Jesse had not watched season 41 because there was so many similar cases to what was occurring in this moment, and he just didn't know. He
fumbled the bag. She literally stole his idol at that point, and I'm like, oof, okay. And in that moment, I was like, if Sam does what I think Sam is about to do, she is savage. And so we go to tribal council and we get to tribal council and everybody is, talking about their plans. Everybody thinks their plan is going to be the plan for the night. Everybody had their own conversations and Jonathan is trying to needle and prod everybody to see what's going to happen, what he thinks what's going to happen. And everybody's like, yeah, this is, it's a lot happening. Once we got back to camp, people was off making small conversations and doing different things. Sam made her cute little, if people are smelling things in the water, it could be blood comment, and everybody was like, ooh, ooh, we're smelling the blood in the water here.
I love that. I actually had to tweet about it because it felt like it was really thought out, just the way that she was able to, to bring that up, and no one was even able to put it. If I was Jesse at this point and someone says there must be something in the water and maybe it's a little blood, I'd be like, okay, maybe this can be in relation to me because at this point, outside of Mark, I'm the closest person. And Mark is definitely not going to be the person that she turns against.
Mm-mm.
So that should have been a red flag for him.
I would have, me personally, in that moment, I would have publicly been like, give me my idol. I don't care. Y'all know I got it. I don't want it with you. And then I would have used it. That just I would have just used it. I would have been like, give me my idol, Sam.
Yeah. And the thing is, Jordy knows nothing about what just occurred. How? Like, by the time you found the idol, had everything occur, I'm sure you have the rest of the afternoon before coming to Tribal. There was no time to communicate and say, hey, I found an idol. This is what occurred. Needed to give it to Sam. We should get it back. There was none of that. None of it.
It's just, even if you don't think you need it that night, you still want to have it in your possession. And so I would have been like, or at least have somebody else know that this is what happened. I'm not going to trust somebody who, even though we're close, and even if you're my closest ally, and I have a brother in the game, you're a close ally, but this is my brother. So
exactly. And they got rid of their other close ally. Like,
so yeah, I'm like, if you watched that, she was okay with getting rid of Khan, who was a close ally. You don't think she was gonna turn around and get rid of you? It just seems so weird to me. But everybody was ready for the vote, and because it was blood and water, and yeah. So we do the vote, and the vote count goes as follows. 4 votes falls on Josh. 1 vote falls on KJ. And 6 votes falls on Jesse. And Jesse is voted out of this game with his idol in Sam's bag.
Oh my gosh. Move of the season. Oh my gosh.
What I tell y'all, I have not laughed so much on one of these episodes until today. Everything about this made me laugh because they were just dumb move after dumb move after dumb move. And I'm like, nobody is saying anything. Oh.
And we even just backtrack to JLP asking if anyone has an idol, this would be the time to play it. And Sam just looks at him and then looks back.
Like,
Sam was like, oh, okay.
No, thank you.
And he's like, okay, I'm good. I'm fine. Oh, no. That was such a good reveal.
Oh, it was so good. And like to see the little smirk on Sam's face as Jesse's name is being called Jesse. She's just like, well.
She's like, and I'm about to keep an idol.
But I got thanks for, and literally says, thanks for the idol.
Yeah.
As you're voting.
So good.
So good. So savage.
There was so many different ways she could have handled this. Like, because before it happened, I was like, okay, maybe she's going to try and save him and play the idol on him and actually turn on Mark. And I was like, this is going to be great. She's finally about to make this huge move. But I actually do think, especially after thinking about it a lot more, this was probably the best decision because she's turning against a group of 5 by going with this plan. By going with the plan where she plays the idol for Josh, for example. And Jordy already wants to get rid of Mark. So now that's another reason to get rid of you, especially after playing his brother's idol. And I think Jordy has a better, obviously, gameplay than Jesse. And then all the minorities could be like, how long have you had that idol? And you could potentially do that to us if you want to work with us. So she was very subtle, did not affect too many different peoples except obviously Jesse, but he's gone. Jordy didn't know about the idol somehow. So kudos to her, honestly. I was very impressed.
It was a savage move, and I enjoyed every second of it. And I was like, okay, Sam, I see you come to play, but I really wish you would come to play a little bit harder when it comes to Mark. But it's okay. Maybe later. I don't know. We'll see.
She's probably
But
like, my children have to watch this, so she's probably just like, I gotta protect their daddy's image.
I guess.
You know what? You're right. That is.
Yeah.
But how is he protecting her image? That's what I would like to know. Because
That's
the
what
way
I'm
he's
saying.
treating her in front of everyone.
That's why they just need to agree to work differently, and it'd be like they both be good. But
yeah,
they're not seeing it my way. Like you said, Lana, I think it's cultural. I think it's something I don't know, because my thought process and their process ain't the same. But I also ain't trying to sit out in the wilderness for 80,000 years. So we already know we don't think the same.
Same. Period. So let's move on to the next episode. Jesse's gone. Bye, Jesse. This next episode, I am not very, very much happy, but we know we move. Sam is starting to feel herself. Sam is feeling herself. She is Beyonce all day. She's feeling herself. She's feeling herself. Because she like, I just put off this huge move in this game, and she's like, I know me and Mark's threat level is up, but we got 2 idols between us, and only people that know is me and Mark and Jordy.
And so I just want to obviously mention, when Jesse left, you know, that little conversation he had with Sam, did you vote for me? Yes, I did. You didn't tell me about the idol. What about the idol? And then obviously she says that she will protect Jordy to him. And then obviously Jesse mentions it to Jordy that Sam's got the idol. But the way that he said it, he really didn't say too much. So I don't know how he got to understand the message, because all he said was, she has the idol. Okay, it's like that. Is that Mark's idol? Or did you find the idol? Like, there was just, maybe it was just the way that it was edited, but it just seemed like it wasn't, the information wasn't given in the best way.
I don't know about y'all, but Jesse was a little too quiet and on his way out.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody did that to me in a game, and I know I could blow up their spot right now, because I don't really care for you to win this game anymore. Because what you just did to me, stole my idol, voted me out. So I don't care for you to win this game anymore. So I'm going to make sure that you don't. This is my thought process. I would have been like, oh, Sam, so you go steal my idol, hold on to my idol, and vote me out? Y'all better be careful, because she's savage. She in it to win it. And if you ain't in it to win it, she gonna take you out too. Y'all better be careful. I would have made a big fuss. I'm blowing your spot up as I leave. Because with that information, that's huge information to have. And you just got played. I don't know. For me, Jesse was very too quiet walking out for me.
I think a part of it, and I watched all the jury villa segment of it. He said he really wanted to do that. And, you know, there's normally a time frame, maybe 10 to 15 minutes between someone being voted out and actually leaving tribal council. And he started thinking about his brother's game if he decided to do that, because now they're going to say, okay, especially Sam and Mark, if they were intending on working with Jordy somehow, how are they going to be able to trust him if I've just blown up Sam's game in front of everyone? And so he was worried that would be the case, and said, okay, I'll keep calm. Sam has told me that she's going to try and protect my brother. I will trust her despite everything she just did, which makes no sense.
No sense to me.
And let it be.
Interesting.
But that would probably be something I would have done as well, because it makes no sense. Ain't no way.
Ain't no way. I'm about to say, maybe it's just me. I don't know. Because you're not going to do me and play me like that on national TV. And you stole from me. You literally stole from me. And you want me to be cool and not blow up your spot? No, couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. But yeah, but Sam proposes a deal with Jordy to keep him safe for future votes in exchange for his silence about the idol. Don't tell anybody, and I will use the idol for you and use it for, for just in case. Now, do we believe? I just don't like, ain't no way I'm gonna believe that. Like,
Nope.
but whatever. Jordy obviously did not believe it. He's devastated by the departure of Jesse, and he vows to get revenge on his behalf.
Mhm.
And so Jordy is like, I'm going to work. I have nothing to lose here. This is what got me. Jordy's sitting there with Mark and with Josh. And they're laying there, and Jordy is like, wow, the stitch up, as he likes to call it, was real. He was like, the stitch up was like, it was real, it was a mess. And Josh proceeds to tell him, yeah, you better win immunity, or you're next. The arrogance of Josh is probably as big as fine as he is. He fine because he's super fine, and his arrogance is just as big and as much as his fineness. Because
this is the second or third time he's done this.
Yep.
And you give people incentive to go after you. You allow them to make plans because this is the day after, so they still have an extra day until tribal anyway. So you are just giving people the reason to want to go after you, despite obviously Jordy has now mentioned at this point that he wants to go after Sam because he's trying to get revenge for his brother. And obviously we have that moment where he's crying and wishing obviously Jesse was around. And he has his shorts on, his brother's shorts on, and I'm like, oh gosh, these shorts
Not
are
that
still
short
in. I'm like,
to
maybe
it.
they're bad luck. I would have thrown
That's
them
right,
in
juju.
fire.
I would have
Yeah.
threw him away. I would have threw him
Got rid
away.
of that because I don't think that is something you want to partake in. And Josh just needs to learn to keep his mouth shut. Because Mark is sitting there like,
why are you saying that? Like, what?
if you look at Mark's face in that moment, he's laughing with them, but he's like, what are you doing?
Like, would you shut up? Like, this is not what we discussed here. We are not going to tell. Why would you give somebody ammunition to, like, who just lost somebody? So now they literally have nothing to lose. They don't have a loved one to worry about. They don't have anybody looking to look after. And you literally just was like, yeah, you better win immunity or you going home.
Ugh.
So Jordy's like, thanks for letting me know. Good to know. I'll go do just that. Thanks.
Yo.
It's like, I don't get it. But so Jordy is like, all right, new plan. He goes to all the singles and like, look, we need to come together. Even though I'm like, you wasn't saying that same thing last week when you was in a duo, but okay. All right, Mr. Singles must unite now. It's good for you. I would have rolled my eyes if I was Shay, KJ, Dave, Chrissy, and Michelle. Like, oh, now you want to come to this side? Really? Okay, whatever. But he wants to form a new alliance with all the singles against the couples, and he wants to set his sights on Sam for the next vote. Mark and Sam talk about how they know Jordy knowing about the idol is dangerous, and they need to contemplate if they should keep him close or vote him out as soon as possible. Sam is like, look, we need to just finish the job because there's no way this man is going to want to work with us. Even if we promise him the moon and the stars and everything above, he is not going to trust us to work with us. So we need to just finish the job.
And honestly, when you think of it, at this point, every single person in the jury does not like Sam. So maybe that's why and obviously this is not guaranteed, but maybe that's why Sam at this point is kind of just doing what Mark wants, because Khan, we know what happened with that. Mel, Sam was like so pivotal in that vote and switching, didn't do that. Jesse, And then now you want to get rid of Geordie, and you just promised his brother and him that you're going to keep him safe. Like, that would be 4 for 4 votes that she's not getting if she gets to the end.
I still think she gets Khan's vote.
Out of respect? Because
I think she gets Khan's vote because she didn't vote for Khan. She just didn't tell him the vote was on him. So I kind of feel like Khan would be like...
There's a more likelihood, yeah.
Yeah,
and I think he'd respect it. He seems like the kind of person that would respect that kind of...
Yeah, I think Khan would be like, you know what? Because he was very much into connections and how everybody, you know, he felt very strong connections with people. So I feel like Khan will still vote for Sam in the end. Jessie, she lost Jessie's vote. She lost Jessie's vote completely. Mel, maybe. I still think,
Sorry, I was just gonna say with Khan, it's just the fact that he gave her immunity. He didn't need to do. So there's so many different things that he did. He went out of his way. He put himself, basically, giving himself the opportunity to be sent home.
Yeah.
And gave her the safety. And she still said, "You know what? I'm not gonna mention anything. You can go home." I think that would be something that it would think back to. But I also think because he's been, you know, in MasterChef, a show that involves that kind of similar elimination, etc., he's a little bit more likely to appreciate that. But oof.
You know what? I think I feel like he would vote for Sam, but I think that he could be, if Jessie goes in there and tells Khan they knew the plan, that could sway Khan. It's just, I think it's all about what happens when people come into the jury house, what they tell and what they talk about, which, you know, and he can persuade the jury. I feel like Jessie is a good talker, especially if Geordie comes in there with him. That's going to be a dangerous combination for Sam.
That's why, like, it doesn't feel like the right time for her to keep on pushing for Geordie, especially if Jessie comes in and says, hey, she's done all of these things, but she told me she's going to keep my brother, and, you know, and then everyone's obviously witnessing this as well. And then Geordie follows. Not a good move for her.
It wouldn't be a good move at all. But yeah, so Mark and they don't know. But Geordie knows that the immunity challenge is a must win to survive. If he does not survive, he's going to lose because Josh told him so. He's going to go. So they go to the immunity challenge, and the players have to stand on these narrow footholds while holding on to 2 ropes overhead. And at different intervals, they have to step down on even narrow footholds and making it harder to balance. And the last player standing will win. Now, I was very shocked that this is the second immunity challenge in a row where it's this same concept of hold on for dear life, last man standing, you know, like I was thinking it'd be more something like a puzzle, like run and, you know, something different. But for the second week in a row, the immunity challenge is the same thing.
Yeah. This was giving a challenge. I was seeing Parvati. I was seeing Haley from the last season of Australian Survivor. I was seeing people like Brooke from another season of Australian Survivor. And I was like, you know what? Shay is about to kill this. I was like, this is her challenge. This is it. That's why I think I wasn't too mad about it. But I do agree, like, and we've not had a lot of puzzle this season, post-merge especially. I don't think we've had a proper puzzle. Even last week's ones, that was not a puzzle.
Right.
I just thought it would change it up a little bit because I'm like, we just did that hold on and balance the thing. So this week could just be something different. But no, it wasn't. You just hold on and the footholds get smaller and smaller. You have to stand there. And that just it was interesting. That's another one where I'm like, baby, I know I'm not going to win this, so I'm not going to stand up here and break myself and hurt myself just to prove that I can stand up here for 20 minutes when no, I'm not doing that. My feet too big anyway, so no thank you. People were struggling for a little bit. I don't have the order of when they went out, but it came down to Shay and Jordy. I knew Shay was like gonna kill this because Shay is amazing and she's a beast, and she did that. She did
the
her
yoga
thing
where you just stand and do poses.
right. Exactly.
What a queen.
So I'm like, Shay is going to kill it. And Shay is standing there and she's like, this is what I liked about Shay doing this challenge. Shay was like, she understood where she stood in the game. And she understood her position. And she's like, now Jordy is trying to play with the singles. So I need to, get in good with Jordy and make sure.
They were very close.
Yeah, and she's like cheering on Jordy, like we only got to get rid of one more. Like before Sam fell, she was like, we just got to get rid of one more. We can do it. She's like trying to encourage him to keep going, and he's just like, we got this. So I'm like, okay, good. That's cute.
Wait, are you talking about KJ? Because I was very surprised. KJ kind of seemed to shift her mentality to working with the singles because she was in between, obviously, Shay and Jordy.
And they said it's the three.
Yeah, they know what's up, and I love that they're finally
KJ too. KJ. But see, this is the thing. I think KJ has been aware, but KJ is like, but right now I can't do anything. Yeah. It was like KJ's very much waiting on the right time to make the right move, and I wish every single felt the same way. But yeah, KJ, Shay, and Jordy were all like, one of us got to win this thing. We just got to win. So it came down to Jordy and Shay, and then all of a sudden, Shay was standing there, and she was like, "I think I'm going down," and she collapsed.
She went down all the way down.
Thank God Josh was standing there to catch her because she just went limp. She was like, up. I was like, oh my God. So Jordy ends up winning immunity once again. And it was crazy because right before Jonathan took the necklace off of him, he was like, I got to get that back desperately or I'm going home. And Jonathan was like, ooh, how you know that? He was like, oh, they told me. Jonathan was like,
and what's even funnier is that when obviously the whole purgatory comment mid-challenge, I was like, okay, that's because I've never heard this word before. So I was like, what does that mean? I was like, let me Google this just out of curiosity. I was like, oh my gosh, come on, new word of the day. Let me check that out. And I was like, why would he mention that? Like, it seems so random.
It was very random, and that's why I think I'm catching on to this Survivor Australia and their stuff because every week they've been trying to goop and gag me over all these new twisted. I don't realize it's a twist until it come up. But when he said that, Jonathan asked Jordy for content. Jonathan asked Jordy, is he in heaven, hell, or purgatory? And so Jordy was like, oh, purgatory for sure. Because I don't know, I'm in limbo right now. I don't know whether I'm here or I'm going. I gotta win this. And so when he said it, I'm like, now why would you mention purgatory all of a sudden, Jonathan? You never said purgatory before, but whatever. I'm gonna keep that in the back of my mind and move on. But what other thing shocked me when Jordy said that he was told he needed to win this immunity challenge or he was going home, it was Sam who was like, who told you that? And he was like, the big man down on the end. And Josh is like, I said it, and so what? Just like,
and I think that's gonna be
Josh's downfall.
Yeah, because why would you mention that? He's just been doing it a little bit too much, and
he's too comfortable.
If you've done it twice,
right, you're way too comfortable doing that.
You're too comfortable,
and I don't give the person too much ammunition to go for the
immunity
at that point because maybe he would have dropped if he thought he was safe.
Right. like he feel like if he good, he don't have to work as hard. And sometimes when we know we don't have to work as hard, we don't.
Right.
And so he just, when somebody feels that their back is against the wall and they have nothing else but to do to win this, they gonna do everything they can. Like literally, he probably would have stood up there until he passed out. Because he has no other choice. You gave him no other choice. But yeah, Jordy wins immunity. So their plans to get rid of Jordy is now gone. They can't do it. Done.
Courtesy of Josh. And I really love JLP saying that Jordy was not winning this. I think he said it very early on. He said Jordy looks so uncomfortable. He's probably not going to win.
He said that. No, he said that about the last one. He was like, it takes focus and dedication, and and whatever. And Jonathan, he was like, and Jordy probably won't win it. Jordy was like, thanks, Jonathan, and then he won it. So then again, here's the second one where they're like, oh no, Jordy's not gonna win it, and then he wins it.
And I have to say, last immunity and this one, where Jonathan is trying to talk to certain challengers more than others. And I think it was KJ last time, and it might have been Shay this time, where they're like, no, I'm good. Like, trying not to talk to him. Because it's like,
Chrissy.
Where it's like, these challenges really do take a lot of focus, where it's like, you lose focus for a minute second and you can drop. I'm like, yeah, Jonathan, don't talk to me.
Right. I will 100%.
Who he wants to talk to. You ain't talking to Jordy. Why ain't you talking to Jordy? Go talk to Jordy, Jonathan.
Right. Yeah. I was with Chrissy today on that one. I was like, no, don't talk to me. She was like, oh, you're not talking to me today? She was like, mm-mm. And that's it. Like, I don't want to talk to you. Like, don't, when something takes focus, why are you talking to me? I understand that he has to feel they don't want it to be silence on TV and it's dead air or whatever. But don't talk to me, Jonathan. Don't. Talk to somebody else who can focus and do that and talk to you at the same time. I am not she is not me, so don't do it. Don't talk to me.
Talk to the people on the bench.
Right. Yep. Talk to the people who already sat down, who already fell off this thing. Don't keep talking to me. Like,
But I realize that's something Jeff does as well. And I know people have kind of brought it up, but they always say, this is just us obviously playing the audience, kind of saying what people are thinking. And it's like, I don't need that. I'm here. I'm in this moment. I want to focus. And we saw how easy it is to get distracted and lose a challenge. We saw it with Shay last week. So why would you then allow something like that to happen or give an opportunity for something like that to happen? Exactly. I'm waiting for a day when someone drops as Jonathan says something.
It's gonna be something. But like, I don't know. I think Jonathan talks way too much for me, but I know he's just doing his job. But don't talk to me, Jonathan. Don't talk to me. So we get back from tribal. Sam is annoyed because she can't vote out Jordy like she wants to, but she's like, "Look, let's just vote out another single. We need another single to go, and that's Shay." Like, she can't keep. I think she's obsessed with Shay. She can't keep Shay's name out her mouth. Every week it's been Shay. It's been Shay. If it wasn't Shay, it was somebody that Mark literally had talked them away from Shay, but it's been Shay. Like, we should have got rid of Shay. And then when Shay won immunity, see, I told you we should have got rid of Shay. Then it was every week, we should get rid of Shay. Like, get off of Shay's.
Honestly.
Like, seriously, why are you so obsessed? Mariah Carey said it best.
So obsessed with Shay.
Just so obsessed with Shay. I get it. I mean, if I wasn't Shay, I'd be obsessed with Shay too. But
I would want to be her best friend obsessed, not let me eliminate her obsessed.
Right. Like, really, Shay is like so chill. Like, I don't understand why these women, all of them, KJ included, all of them have come in wanting to go after Shay, threatened by Shay. I'm like, y'all, why won't you just try to be friends with Shay?
Why can't we against these men and get rid of these men?
She's the one who can do it. She the one that can do it.
She is the one. Like, let's use her and get rid of these men. Her and KJ and Nation can take out these men. Let's go. Like, why can't they see that?
They don't see it.
Oh my God.
They don't see it.
So frustrated with these women.
I know.
I'm still holding on to hope. I'm still holding on to it because
But yeah, so Shay, that's the plan. They want to get rid of Shay. Jordy's like, I have nothing to lose. I'm going to make sure to start some chaos, and he's going to tell people we're going after Mark because Sam will be obviously thinking he's going to come after her after what happened with Jesse. So he's like, no, I'm not going to go after Sam. Let's go after Mark. Mark will never see it coming. Sam will lose her mind when he's gone and be scrambling after that. So let's go after Mark. I get it. I'm like, I get the thought process, and yeah, let's cause the chaos, Jordy. I'm here for the chaos. I want to see the cracks and everything. So he decides to tell everybody Mark and Sam both have idols. Mm-hmm. He tells
David.
He tells David, and David is like, wow, whoa, okay, huh.
And the thing is, with Dave, he has literally the second highest voting record in the game in terms of he's voted correctly 80% of the time. I know only Sam has 82, which is the highest. But the fact that he said, there's already a plan that I have to break apart this whole group. Mm-hmm. When are we going to see this? Because we don't see any we haven't seen a confessional from this man since episode 2 or episode 3, right? So when are we going to be able to see these plans that you're thinking of?
This screams, is this the Erica edit where he's the winner? We just start seeing his stuff and it's not showing.
He's in my draft, so I wouldn't be mad.
This is what I'm saying. Is he the winner that is not showing it to us? That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. Wow.
It's kind of weird because, but Dave is like, I have this plan, but this isn't the time to make the move that you want to make because this plan, he said one more round. So I'm like, are we going to see Dave's plan in the next episode? Because Dave says one more round. Right. So I'm like, all right, Dave, I don't know. But he's like, we can't, I just have to. Dave is like, I have to play it. Does he play it safe or does he go along with Jordy's plan? That's the dilemma Dave is in right now. And so he's like, he's trying to figure it out. But Jordy is telling everybody. He literally told everybody about the idols. Dave is trying to figure out if he believes him or not. That's another thing Dave is trying to figure out. He's like, is he just saying stuff to, scramble, or even though he's safe, or is this the truth? Dave was like, so Dave said as he was watching Sam, because Sam is now paranoid, because Sam is now saying she feels that Jordy is concocting this plan to get rid of her. And she's very paranoid. And Dave is watching her, and she's acting weird to him. He says she's acting a little off. He says, so does what Jordy's saying have merit to it? That's what he's trying to figure out. And I think, as much as I haven't been a fan of Dave, I do believe Dave is very strategic, and Dave knows that timing is everything. And so I think he's waiting for the right time to strike. It's maybe not my time frame, my timeline for my liking, because I feel like this is the time. But Dave is like, I just want to see. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to trust the process, Dave. I'm going to watch and see what you do. I don't know. Everybody's going into tribal thinking so many thoughts, so many things.
Too many
things.
But I loved seeing Jordy give that information to everyone, and Shay saying, damn, I was going to go look for that idol. So she knew that she's next on the chopping block. And I still think back to that one idol she threw away, which I don't think she would have had for this long anyway. But I think her self-awareness has definitely improved from the very start.
Yes.
Because there was some questionable things that were done in the
Shay was a
past.
little questionable at the beginning. I wasn't all in on Shay at the beginning. I needed time, but Shay has grown for me. And now I adore Shay. But at the beginning, it was a little rocky.
Yeah.
It was a little rocky.
Yeah.
But so we go to tribal, and Dave is at tribal saying the tribe is in flux after last night's blindside. Jordy is thrilled to have the immunity necklace because he knew he was on the outs after Jesse left. And so Sam urges the majority of 6 to stay strong. But Jordy points out that the 6 people can't all go to the end together. He's like, look, 6 of y'all not making it to the end. What happens to the 3 of y'all that don't get who are the bottom 3 of that? And if there's 3, or if it's a final 2, who's the bottom 4 of that alliance? So he was like, I don't know. So Dave respects Jordy's hard gameplay. He's like, and he agrees everybody should play with their own best interest in mind. Yeah. Like everybody needs to play for themselves. But Sam says that making a move can be just as says that not making a move can be just as valuable as making a move, and for its own sake. So in that moment, that's when Jordy decides game on. He gets up and he goes to whisper to Dave and to Chrissy that they should join him in voting for Mark. Like, this is what we're going to do. We need to vote for Mark. That's the vote if you want to make a move.
I love Chrissy's face at this moment. He knew she wasn't on board. Chrissy.
Chrissy's like, there's no way I'm voting that Mark. I think Chrissy got a crush on Mark, but she can't say it because Sam is right there. I'm just saying.
I have things to say, but we'll move.
Okay. So it's time to vote. And we go to vote. And this was the funniest thing that happened to me watching this moment. Jordy goes into vote, and Jordy is like, M-A-R-K. Like, loud enough for everybody to hear that he's voting for Mark. He's very much like, I don't care. You can't vote for me. No way. So I'm voting for Mark.
Love it. I would love pettiness. It was amazing.
Pettiness wrong. It was like, even if the vote goes his way or not, he's like, I am going to do what I'm going to do. Because what can you do?
Flush that idol.
What killed me was that went against his whole plan with making him think he was going for Sam. So like,
no, he never said that.
No, but I'm saying, but if he thought that Sam would instinctively think that she was the target and he wanted her to use her idol to flush Jesse's idol, he ruined it by being like, M-A-R-K, you know what I mean?
He didn't want Sam to use the idol. He wanted Mark to use his idol. He was trying to freak out Mark and get the idol played. Even if they stayed, he wanted those idols, at least one of them idols to go. And because them with 2 idols is dangerous.
And
like,
he's right about that. He's not wrong.
He is not wrong at all. But it was just funny. I don't know what his thought process was. I don't know what he was trying to do, but it was entertaining for me.
Very entertaining.
I laughed. Quality. It was quality TV. So the votes go down, and it's 2 votes for Mark. 2 votes for Mark. 2 votes for Mark. And the rest of the votes went to Shay. So Shay, my queen, was voted out of this game. The 13th person voted out. 13th person voted out of Survivor Australia was Shay.
I will mention.
But wait.
Voted out of the night.
Vote, yeah. There's a but wait here, people. Shay was voted out. Shay said her goodbyes. Shay said, I love you all. And Shay walked down the path. And there was this stone sitting right in the middle of the path. And when I saw that stone, I literally screamed. I've never screamed. Well, that's a lie. I screamed so loud because I'm like, what? Okay. So Shay is being sent to purgatory.
Mm-hmm.
That Jonathan just so happened to say randomly today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's going to purgatory, and where she will have a chance to get back into this
No,
game.
she's gonna have a chance. She will become.
She
She'll be
will be coming
winning
back.
this
We will,
season.
we are going to speak that into existence. Shay will be back in the
Yeah.
game, and Shay will. All of them who voted Shay out will rule the day for voting
Yeah.
Shay out.
One by one by one.
And can I just say, cowards to those other ones who still voted for Shay when they know they could have changed the tide. A lot of big talk. A lot of big talk on this tribe, but no action. No action at all.
It's really frustrating, especially because we've had Josh throw his vote twice onto KJ for whatever reason.
No reason.
So they had the numbers. But nope.
Nope. They all punked out. They all punked out.
But alas,
that's. I didn't watch the previews for the next week because I was just. Oh, did I? Oh, yes, I did. They just show. It was really just showing Shay in purgatory. Yeah, trying to figure out how she's going to get back into this game. She doesn't know how long she's going to sit there in purgatory. She don't know anything, but she's like, "Look, this might break some people, but it only drives me." And so I'm like, "Hey, girl." I hope it drives her right back into that game. And they're like, who's going to join her next? So I'm like, how long is purgatory going to last?
Right.
I don't want it to last long. I literally want one person to join them, and then they have to battle it back in, and then they go back in. But I feel like it might be more than that.
Last season, I'm not going to ruin what occurred, but someone did go something similar. It was called Redemption Rock. And the person that went there was there for, I think, 2 days. And then the following person joined them. And then the day after, during the reward challenge, they battled it out. None of them came back in. So they were only gone so essentially they were out for like 2 or a day, depending on who came back. Okay. And I hope it's a similar thing. But we'll find out. We'll find out.
I want it to be short and like something like that. Like somebody will join her and then they have to battle it out. I would love it to be Sam, but I just don't think it'll be Sam. But I feel it would be hilarious if it was Sam, because I really feel like Sam is very intimidated by Shay in like so many ways. And so
they're both strong women. Like they should be. And the thing is, if you're Sam and you've seen in challenges, you know, Chrissy has performed, KJ has performed at times, Michelle has performed at times, but everyone will be leaning towards you next if you get rid of Shay as this strong woman, if this is that agenda of keeping all the strong men together. So why would you want to get rid of the person that gets rid of that target for you? It makes no sense. So she gets voted out and she goes against Shay after running her mouth for the last 2-3 weeks.
Chef's kiss, no better for you. I tell you, I'm here for it. I hope that it's going to be good, and I hope it's not long, because I don't want it to be long. In purgatory, I don't want purgatory to be long. But that is it. That's all we got. We talked about it, and we're going to talk about the next week's episodes next week at some point. I won't put out a schedule when, because I don't know. We'll figure it out. When we know, you'll know. I want to say thank you to both Derrick and Kisha for joining me on today to talk about Survivor Australia. It has been a joy, a pleasure, and an honor to have you both here. You know I adore both of you, and you are welcome to come back to the Cup at any time to talk about Survivor Australia or anything else. And yes, spill all the tea with us, because we love having you. So thank you both.
Thank you for having us.
And that's it, you guys. Follow us, hit the like, subscribe button when this episode will drop tomorrow, I think. But follow us and subscribe to our channel of The Cup Reality. Follow us on Twitter. You'll get all of our information when the schedule comes out, you'll be notified. So follow us on Twitter, and then follow us just individually because we're awesome. All of us are awesome, and you want to just follow us. So yeah, follow us, and that's it. So cheers, you guys. Cheers, and thank you all. Yep, that's it. So bye, y'all. Bye bye. Bye bye now. Bye. We're done.